Started them. I mean, presumably, John, you'd like to discuss various admin matters, but probably better done in the middle when a few more people may have arrived.
Yes.
So we're starting with John's Morris Miscellany, and the suggestion is rather than try and play all 6 tunes, particularly given that a couple of them are fractionally different to the ones you may have in your brain, particularly if you've learnt them from my tune book. We'd concentrate on the first 3 tunes, so the Morris On, Country Gardens, and This Old Man. It's not too bad. That I've reset the first one with the first and second time bars. It was all a bit condensed on my screen originally, so I'd reset it like that so as not to have the first and second time bars. I think the notes are almost identical, because I started with the same thing, but I think that may be a little bit, the notes are a bit further spaced apart for reading on computer screens. That's what we're doing. I'm not at all actually sure that it needs that anacrusis at the beginning, even when going back from the end. I think a rest would do perfectly well. I might change it to do that. So what should we do? We will do. So the tunes are. Let me just sort of. You should have all, of course, have practiced these by hand. So the first tune is. Repeated and then. Repeated, and then into Country Gardens.
Is it? No, no, no. Oh,
That's right. And then the final tune is This Old Man. He played. And if we get onto it, then Old Molly Oxford is. So they're all tunes you probably know. It's just that the rhythm patterns of them are possibly slightly different in places. So let's just initially take them one at a time. So let's just play Morris On. Let me mute everybody, which would be a good start, wouldn't it? Participants are up to 13 parts. I tell you what, I'm going to stop sharing so I can see if we've gained any other people particularly. So it's actually only 12 because Angela's there twice. Right, okay, so my participants can go over there. I can share the screen. So I'm going to mute everybody. You can, of course, unmute yourselves if you wish, if you need to tell me off for something. So I'll play the whole of an A part, and then we'll come in and do an A part twice and a B part twice, and an A part twice and a B part twice. So let's just loop round Morris On for a bit. So here's the intro. Again. And that would go on. When it joins on, there's a rest there to arrest or just lengthen the previous note in some ways. Though the rest actually helps, I think. So you've got to watch the dotting patterns on this and the fact that the first bar, the notes are perfectly reasonable, but I don't think they're what I would play generally for this tune. Yeah, the usual thing is, I think, the more usual start. But anyway.
Yeah, well, that's the trouble with when you get into Oxfordshire type Morris. It's every tradition has taken the tune and altered it to fit themselves, and they quite often do not resemble the original. Sorry.
Well, that's right, and this is recognisably the same tune, but substantially diverged from it. So you just have to treat it as, in a sense, a different tune. So I'll do the same thing here as we did for the previous one. I'll play the whole of an A part, and then you can come in and do an A part twice. Note that the B part does not repeat. The B part's written out in full of the same, of 8 bars rather than 4. And then the C part repeats. So it's A, A, B, C, C. And if we loop round it like we did before, it'll go A as my intro, A, B, C, C, A, B, C, C. Okay, is that clear? Possibly not. So here's the intro. And that's a bit fast, isn't it? So a bit slower for this. Beginning. Again. etc. Right, so other odd things to note in Country Gardens. In the B part, the first two bars are not the same, which you might expect them to be. But the next one goes down instead of up. And it's just all too easy to play those two bars the same. You've just got to train your finger to play an E rather than an A. I don't mean that. Yes, I do mean that. Yes, I do.
So F sharp. The second note is an F sharp instead of an A.
Yes, sorry, I've got my brain, and I was puzzling over what I was saying there. Yes, indeed. You're starting on a G, right? There's lots of G's, and the first bar it goes up to an A, and on the second bar it goes down to an F sharp. Is the thing. But I mean, basically, read the music, but be aware that those two bars that look the same are not quite. So let's just play through that that thing again, and then transit straight into this old man getting upstairs. So this time I'll just play a last two bars of an A part as the intro, and then do two A parts. Okay. No, not like that. Change. And again. Yes, I didn't manage the transition very well. You've got to make sure you hold that minim at the end of Country Gardens for its full 2 beats before going on, I think. You've got to make sure you do that as 1, 2, and not rush on that transition, which I rushed slightly. Right, should we just put those 3 together then and just play them once each as written? So introduction of last 2 bars of an A part of Morris on, and then A twice, B twice, and on to the next tune. have to work out how to cross finger that repeated G's in the middle of getting upstairs. Yeah, I think just alternate fingers, don't we?
I just use fingers one and two there because it's an even amount. So
Yes, that's right. I mean, you can just start and finish on the usual fingers, don't you?
yeah, that's right.
Because you've got to play 5 of them, not just 4.
Mm. Yeah, but within that bar, it's still the same. So you're ready for the next one. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So you don't have. I can do that all right if I've worked it out in advance and start on the right finger and then move on. It's when I have to spontaneously start on the wrong finger in order to end on the right one that I have more difficulties.
Mm.
Um,
Both are worth practicing.
it is, yeah, it is. That's what it's for. Yes, I can do it. Whether I will do it is a different matter. Right, shall we do that once more, a little bit faster? Anybody who's a dancer can tell us what speed it should be played at for dance speed. But I think so. I think this old man wants a bit of rate of. That speed, doesn't it? Which means the first one needs to be. Right, okay, so here's the last 2 bars of Morris on, a little bit faster than we were doing, and then we'll play it straight through. And then after that we can think of moving on. Umpa-dumpa-da-da-do. Right. Etc. Right, so let me stop sharing and see if
I should have said if you do use 1 and 2 for those G's, when you got the double D, I then use the second finger for it the first time and go back to the first. It's easier if you do it that way.
The double D.
So you got the G's, so you're doing so on 1 when you get to that G, and then swap to the second finger for the second D.
Yeah.
If you are cross fingering, it's easier.
Yes, for that's one where really you do need to play the D's. What do you say? The A.
Yeah, so you got in this old man, it's one. Yeah. We've got the G's, the repeated G's. So using fingers 1 and 2. So you end on the second finger for that last G in the next bar. So when you get to D, you obviously got your first finger, and the second D in the next bar is your second finger. Yeah.
Yes, I just changed bellows direction on those 2 actually. When you've got a bar line in between them, you've got to stress the next note as the beginning of a bar. So that's one where I changed bellows direction. I don't know what other people would do. But it's the next 2, the pair of A's, where if I think about it soon enough, I'll play the first day with my second finger.
Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah,
in order to have to be back on the first finger
free for the C. Yeah.
For the second day, in order to have the second free for the C. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it's still, after 25 years, it's new to me, this habit of not using the same finger all the time on the same row. It's a lockdown experience for me of straying away from that row is for the first finger.
I must admit, when I started doing it, it was mind blowing, and I couldn't get hardly any notes right because it does misplace where you are. But like Liz will know, when you're playing stuff like drawing the dots and stuff, it really opens a lot up for you. You're then not stuck to certain fingers. It's more like, I guess, an Anglo or a guitar chord shapes with your fingers and what you can jump to. So it does open up what you can play and how you can play it, really.
Yeah, I agree entirely. It's just I've got to sort of undo 25 years of doing it one way in order to do it a different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's not easy. It's always easier to learn something one way to start with rather than unlearn something. For sure.
You always have to plan your exit route.
I'm sorry, Anne, say that again.
You always have to plan your exit route when you're doing that.
Yes.
How to get back to your standard.
Yeah, indeed.
Or when you do. I know there's a tune, I can't remember what it was, but I practically played the whole B, kind of one row over, with fingers on the wrong row, but then had to know exactly when to get back, otherwise the rest went to pieces.
Yes, indeed. Anyway, do you want to do that once more before we move on, or have you had enough Morrising for the moment?
We'll treat it as a processional and move on.
Right, okay.
Can I just say, in connection with This Old Man, that's taken from apologies are probably due to Moulton Morris. I don't know if they still exist, but it's taken from a very old CD of theirs. And I mean, they're recognised to be playing This Old Man, although I think Joel Warren assured me it's called Getting Upstairs in Morris terms. But if anybody with a better ear than me would be prepared to take a clip of it and tell me what they're actually playing, then I could suitably amend it. Anyway, if anybody is capable and willing of doing that, let me know.
Are you not happy with the version you've got, John? It sounds fine to me.
I've taken it from a book of nursery rhymes, put it in the right key, and I added one twiddle that I know that Moulton are playing.
Right.
Okay.
I think they're probably swinging it and playing variations around it.
The first two bars are a little boring,
Yes, so I could go back and listen again, but I've got a very poor ear for picking up things myself. So anyway, end of message.
I think I've got the CD, so I'll perhaps have a listen.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, thanks, Liz. That I'd say it'd be helpful.
Does anyone know what the step pattern was?
No, it's not in the Morris book. I say it's just taken from the CD.
I've just looked it up.
It's not in the black book, no. Right. Okay. Well, will that do for finger warming? We've now got our fingers going. My hand that was complaining of tendinitis seems to have cured itself, but now I've got arthritis in my neck. So I'm if I suddenly go ow and stop playing, it's due to that. So I've got a visit to the osteopath tomorrow morning to try and sort out a bit more about what's going on in my neck.
Is it the less of the two evils, though?
I've been having pins and needles in my fingers for best part of a year, getting worse. So
oh no, that's not good.
There's something happening in my neck that shouldn't be. So but the good news is I've been off and had nerve conductivity tests, and they're normal, and I've had a neck X-ray, and it shows arthritis, but nothing drastic, and even a neck MRI scan that they said doesn't show anything drastic. So there isn't a major immediate problem, but
could it be connected to screen time? Because a lot of us are a lot more screen time during lockdown. And I know I suffered with that, and I've had to get a holder for my tablet so it's the right height to stop my neck and stuff.
It's certainly a contributing factor. I'm quite lucky in the sense that where I'm sitting at the moment was set up as my workstation for when I was working from home 5 years ago, and it's quite well arranged with the chair relatively low and the monitor relatively high. So that's quite a comfortable position. But it's when I'm sitting in the living room looking down at a tablet that I think is probably one of the contributory factors, because certainly the neck problems, it's hurt, particularly when I've been looking down and I then look up.
I know I'm guilty of that. If I spend a lot of time on the tablet with it on my lap, I can feel it in my neck the next day.
Yeah, some of it's just old age, but anyway, let's see if we can. So I'm on ibuprofen, Voltarol on my neck at the moment, because it was rather bad over the last couple of days. Anyway, I'm all right at the moment. So the next thing on the list was Josephines. So if we go back to sharing, if we share the same thing.
Somebody got a clicky.
Yeah, we've kind of gained a noise.
Oh, well, shall I just try muting individual people and see if they? So if I mute myself, does? Whoops, hang on a minute. Did that stop it?
Yes, but it's also not there now either.
Not there now.
Yeah, it stopped actually before you muted yourself.
Oh, so maybe somebody else then, I don't know. All right, okay, we'll carry on otherwise. Right, so let's for the moment, wait a minute, I'm just wondering what I've got here. I can't remember. Oh, I don't want that one. Right, we'll just so the original thing we had was this. Right, let me mute everybody a minute. Mute all. This was this. Is that which goes on for? It's quite difficult to fit on a page. It's a bit spaced out. And the it said trad Sweden. I just work my way back up to the J's. Right, I discovered that it's actually was written in 1992 by Roger Tollroth of a Swedish band, and it's actually Josephine, spelled Johsefin, possessive, and they don't use an apostrophe in Sweden, so Josephines. Doppwaltz, so it's a baptism or christening waltz, and Josephine is now, well, she was at university 6 years ago, I think. Well, you sort of work it out from 1992, really. She's 30 next year, so well after baptism, and as a musician in her own right, interestingly. So we're in so I've reset this one again. I'm trying to remember who somebody provided me or I found. How did we get hold of the second part? I now can't quite remember. But it was as a PDF. So I've reset it to fit the screen, and you've got it in glorious Technicolor. So initially, I'll play the top line, and then when I get to the end, I'll try and switch and play the red line, and then I can get the computer to play both lines, and we can try that. So I don't think we need an intro other than those first three notes. Really, you can just come in on the D if you on the note with the G chord over the top to come in. So here's your three note intro. Oops, that should repeat, shouldn't it? Let me repeat it. So, other people can comment. The thing I think is rather strange, but actually works when you hear them together, I think, is that in the red notes at the end of the first line, we have a D being held against an E immediately above, which if you play the two together on, certainly on one instrument, they sound horrible. but it is a transitory thing while it's resolving onto the D from the E to the C chord to the D chord. So it does actually work when in the it's got the other the chordal accompaniment behind it. So let me just stop sharing there for a minute. So were people quite happy with playing that at that speed? Yes, yes. So let me just try and find a minute. Just like pause while I find the right thing. Oh, it is. Right, okay, so if I get rid of that, I share two things, that one and that one. I'd have to move my participant somewhere else. Right, so I think I've got. Let me just play a bit of sound so you can hear what it sounds like. You can tell me whether it's appropriate. Does that look all right? Yes. There's some nodding going on. Yes. All right. Okay. Right. So I'm just going to press play, and you get that same 3-note introduction, and we'll just go through it, and you can play whichever part you wish. I might mute myself and play along as well. Okay, so let me unmute everybody. Right, everybody is unmuted. So, was that working?
Yeah, that was working good.
Yeah, that was good.
Do you want to do it once more?
Yes.
Yes. Thought that would be the answer. Right, let me remute everybody. Go and reshare two things. Back to the beginning. Right, I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3 and press the button. 1, 2, 3. You are unmuted. So, enough of Josephine for the moment.
Yeah, so
So it's time for.
Can I check as we just played it? But do we want to have another go at that next time? Yes, I can see some nods there. No, nobody's giving the thumbs down, Roman Emperor style.
Oh,
Okay.
like
One thumbs down. I think the thumbs up have it. We'll play it one more time.
Could perhaps do it slightly faster. That would be a rather slow waltz at the speed we had it then. Right, so it's time for round the room. So who is going to volunteer to play something that they've been playing over the last couple of weeks? Tim's got up and gone away.
Will I do Trip to Sky?
Yes.
I did it quite a few weeks ago on the WCCP one. I think it was written. It's about a trip to Scotland, written by an Irishman. Oh, I've forgotten now, but there were 3 nationalities involved in it anyway. Here goes.
Just before you start, let me mute everybody and then you can unmute yourself. Before you do, have you got original sound turned on?
No, thank you.
Because otherwise Zoom will think you are background noise and tune you out.
That's it, that should be it anyway.
Right, okay, hold on a minute while I mute everybody. So I'm going to mute everybody and then can you unmute yourself?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm a bit nervous, so it might trip slightly, but it will be a Trip to Sky.
What a lovely tune. Well played.
Thank you.
Very nice. I've unmuted it. I think I've unmuted everybody. Yes, everybody's unmuted. Yeah, so who do you know who wrote it, or is it?
I can't remember. I found it on YouTube by chance, being played by Simon Cumier.
Ah, right. Mind you, he can play all sorts of things.
Yeah, and quicker than most.
You want to tuck your instrument away.
Yes. Yes, I've. Yes, I actually.
Sorry, Paul. I can't remember who I did know, but I.
No, it's right. Yeah, but it's a modern, it's a 20th century person, is it? We think. Yeah. Very nice. So, inspired by that, does anyone else want to play anything at this stage?
I'll play something if no one else wants to.
That's all right. Okay, Liz, what are you going to offer us? Liz has offered and gone away.
Sorry, I've got to just get set up with
music stand.
I wasn't going to play, but I thought if no one wants to, I'll play Schottish from Clinton. It's a
from Hillary Clinton.
No, it's a Swedish tune. I think it's Swedish. It's after Conrad Carlson of Overclinton. I think it's Overclinton. Right,
hold on. Right, before you start playing, are you original sounded?
Yes, it's on. It's on.
Right,
yeah.
I'm going to let me mute everybody, and then you need to unmute yourself. Yeah,
right,
that's
okay.
It. Yeah.
I haven't played it for a while, so I hope it'll be okay. Oh, sorry. No, I'll start again. It's in D, sorry.
It always helps to play a scale before you start.
Yeah.
Nice and very Scandinavian, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
We'll unmute everybody there. Will work. Yes, it did. Right, thank you very much. So everybody else who hasn't played there, start thinking about what you're going to play in the second round the room a bit later in the session. So Martin's sorting some music out for something, and Sally's trying something out. Maybe, right, okay. It's not compulsory, but we do like to hear things, however much they fall apart on the way. Right, so Kate says, Trip to Skye was written by John Whelan. Lovely rendition with Eileen Ivers. She says, John Whelan. Why do I know John Whelan? Anyway. Right. So the next thing on the list is It is indeed. Now, where did I have it? Anyway, if we go there, I think I got it somewhere. We had the entertainer, which we were discussing at the beginning of the session as not being a learner's and introductory piece really, but it's a good challenge certainly, and this is a simplified one. So what I've got, I'm just trying to find something a minute. So what I suggest here is that we play it. Let me just reshare that a minute, and that we'll have me playing to start with, but we might get the computer to do it to give the stricter timing after a bit. So the speed, it should go faster than this in the long run, but the speed at which I suggest we play, this is down as minimum is 70. I think if we do it about 50, it's a bit more feasible. This is 50. So I think it may actually help having the chordal thing against it to give a sort of left hand. But initially, let's just play the melody. I'm going to mute everybody. Right, everybody's muted. Put my tea out of the way. So the first problem you have with this is to find those first two notes. And certainly on an English, my starting point is that it's a button, second button down on my second finger. That's the note you want, and it's on the other side. The next note is second button down on the first finger. So once you've got the pattern, it sort of works, but it's a matter of getting the right pattern for that one.
We've got that ticking noise back again.
Have we? Oh, so that's with everybody muted. So we think it's coming from my side. It'll probably go away once I'm playing.
I don't know if it's a computer fan. It sounds like something vibrating.
Yeah. Well, my PC is under the desk, so it is always possible. But
stop now. So whatever that was.
I'll just put my hand on top of the PC, but
okay.
It could be. The thing is, I can't hear it at all. I could on the recordings the other day a bit, but I don't think you hear it once we're playing. So I think it'll be all right. That's what we want, isn't it? Right. So let's have a go. I don't promise at all to succeed in going through this, which is one of the reasons I ensured I got the synthesized version to hand. Anyway, we'll give it a try. I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to come in with this. I know it's not 4, but that'll do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, almost right. So let's give me a rest. Let's have a try going against the metronome, so to speak. I'm going to just count 1, 2, 3, 4 and press the button and see what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hang on. So we weren't at the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't go again. Right, let me unmute everybody and stop sharing. I'm not actually at all convinced about quite a few of those chords. I don't think playing minors are right, several of them. But I think it is quite useful to have a regular beat to put the syncopation against on things there. So John, what is John still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Where would you like to go next with that one?
Well, maybe I should check. Do people want to move on to Ronald's version, which differs? It's got a third part to it.
Yes, give it a try.
A try.
Yeah, give it a try.
Okay. Did you want me to play that, or
yeah?
You haven't got an electronic version of that, have you?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
No.
In that case, I shall do my best. The main difference is that for the first part of the second section, it goes up an octave. And I must admit, it's quite difficult to find your fingers back to the middle G after playing high for a while. And the third part is completely new one.
Right.
So it might be an idea to take it in parts. The first part is pretty much identical to Paul's, I think.
So is that?
So I don't think we need to play the what I'm calling the first bars 5 to 21.
Right.
Oh, if you just play the there's an intro to it, the E F sharp.
So you're going to play from bar 22, effectively.
I'll play through. I think given it'll be completely new to most people. I'll play through what I'm calling the second section. Do you need to go? Oh no, sorry, you've got it lined up now. Yeah, so it's bars. Well, from the end of bar 21.
Yes, the second time bar.
Yeah. To it'll be bar 38 presumably.
Yeah. Well.
So if I'll play through that slowly and see if I can get it.
Yeah. All right, let me mute everybody first.
Yeah.
Right, everybody's muted. John, can you unmute yourself?
Yep, I'm back. So
You
what
have
sort of
control.
speed will we go? Da da da. So sort of one. I'll go 1 2 3 1 2, and then come in. 1 2 3 4 1 2, and come in halfway through the next beat, maybe.
You could always play the whole from bar 17.
Oh, I could. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a much better idea. I'll play the last 4 bars of the first section. Yeah. Okay, so I'm playing from bar 32, 33, 34.
You're playing from bar 17.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I keep thinking I'm looking at the top of the music. Yeah, I'll play the whole of that then. So it's 4 bars. I'm working from a slightly different.
Oh, I see. All right.
Yeah. So it's. Okay. Do people want to play that part again at a similar speed? Or shall I move on? Move on, is it, Paul?
I was just thinking what other people were signalling. I think you could, for the moment, move on and just play the final the section in F.
Right. Well, I'll do the same again. I'll play the last line, the last 4 bars, which might not quite line up with your version of the previous one to get into it. So I'll play from bar 34.
Yeah.
Oopsie. What would I say? Not been able to find the middle G. 2 3 4. Right. I think I better play that again and get it a bit more smoothly. So I'll do the same again. 4 bars intro, similar speed. Okay, maybe you better unmute people and see what people made of that.
It's a very interesting chord to try and finger at the end.
Yes, yeah, I tried to train myself to get my third finger on the on the F in order to be able to play the chord. I've got time to leap.
That's a great version to work on. It's really really gets you thinking between the different sections. So.
And it sounds authentic. I'm sure it's in the original, even if it didn't make it into the film.
Yeah, I'm sure he used to do bits like that in a lot of his. He used to change it like that. So yeah, that's great. A great version.
So are we happy to have another go at that one next time?
I definitely need to work on that. Yeah.
Maybe I can set up an electronic one we could like Paul's that we could play along to. Paul,
yeah, I think I'd like that. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
Paul, were you saying something that you're muted?
I am muted. Yes. Yes, it would be good for you to do a. I'm just thinking they're in the same key as mine, aren't they?
Yeah, I say that the up to bar 20 odd, it's pretty much identical.
The B parts are a bit different, but not greatly so, and then the C part's very different. I mean, the C part doesn't exist, so to speak.
No, I think as you said earlier, yours is really a simplified version.
Yeah.
I dare say that the version I've just been playing is also simplified, but not quite so much.
Yes. Steve Bass just stood on his head and then sideways and came back upright again. Yes. So yes, there he is. He's going. He's discovered some control in Zoom.
I can't see that. All I've got is music.
Yeah, I mean we've had this in for a little while and been avoiding it, so I think it'd be quite good to give it a go. But it would be good to get it typeset cleanly and be able to automatically play it. Have you technology, John, for turning a printed script into Music XML?
Yes, I not a printed one. But I'm happy to. I mean, given that half of it's in already in your version.
Yeah, I can.
If you could send me your version in XML.
I can do that, and also I could use I've got some music OCR software that would have a good go at reading that final part. So I might send you a separate file of that.
I hope it's improved over when I tried to use such things. It was always more effort to correct it afterwards than it was to start from scratch.
It does seem to work reasonably well. I was quite impressed. I used it on on Josephine and things, and it did quite well. So yes, I'll see what I can do there. Right, shall we move on? So the next one, which we were going to do, was let's head down the page somewhat. Maybe each, too many things in here. Was Sommerwaltz, which we did last time as the two-part version, and we could come back to again, because it's quite a nice one. I've asked him for permission to put it in my tune book, but I haven't had a reply. So right, we have here we've got, what have we got? Yes, so we've got a couple of synthesized version. We've got mine that has chords, and there's a John's one with no chords and an intro. So anyway, let's just initially play through. Let me mute everybody. Let's have a go at. That's the tune, and given that we did it last week and last time and got it up to a reasonable speed, I don't want to start too slow, but not too fast either. So right, okay, so I'm just going to count 1, 2, 3, 1 and start, and I'll play the black notes, and then hopefully I might try playing the when I get to the end, go back to the beginning and play the red notes. I'm not quite sure how well I'll be able to hold that without a tune against it. We'll see. So 1, 2, 3, 1. I didn't go back to the beginning and start again, which is what I said I would do. So I could do last. Yeah, right. I'll count in from the beginning again. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, and you have to. I'm going to count. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But you have to, if you're playing the black notes, come in on the second note of the second time. It's just that there's a bar of rest at the beginning of. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. me start that again. That was a mess. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Feel I counted those rests particularly well. Anyway, should give you a feel for what the red notes sound like. So if I stop sharing for a moment and I reshare and I share, I'm not sure whether that's the right one or not. Oh, it's still the entertainer. That's what I meant. Right, it's gone. Yes, okay. Right, I need to find Josephine. No, not Josephine. Sommervaltz. Right. So, should we try it initially with John's version, which has an intro but no chords? So we'll have that. Oops. We'll have that one. There. Share screen, what music and that. Right, okay. So this has an introduction, so I'm just going to press go. Right, and just for variety, if I stop share on that and find the other one, which is that one. Right, okay, share that and that. Right, so this I think is much the same speed, same notes, but it's got the chords in as well, so it'll be a little bit tinkly plonky, but it will fill out the harmonies, so it gives you something stronger to play against. This one does not have an intro, so you just have to treat the first two notes as the intro. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 1. So, unmute everybody. Sharing.
Can I just say that if anybody's having a go at playing more notes, more than one note at once, then this is quite a good one to start on, because it's quite playable. There's lots of thirds in it. Just one or two places where you might need to simplify. Tracy, how many notes have you been playing?
Yeah, I've been playing both parts. I must agree with
pining
that one.
for a third part, no doubt.
Yeah, add a few extra. Feel free to add the fringe on.
The third part is basically just the what the chords are, the root of each chord. So it's the third part.
Yeah. I must admit, it is quite a nice one, because especially in the B part, because you're holding one note for 2 beats, so it's quite a simple thing to add that extra note in, really. So yeah.
Right. Is that enough summer waltzing for the moment? And as it's getting to the end of summer, do we?
We haven't had any yet.
Should we drop that one for the moment? Anybody holding out for another go? It would mean we could actually say bye-bye to Smile next time, I think, if we drop some of else, because I don't think we'll have time to play Smile today.
That's right. So we could do Smile next time and then drop that. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right. So it's time for the second round the room. So who's had their arm twisted while we've been doing other things?
Go on, I'll have a go.
Yeah, there we go. Right.
It's called Walking Uptown. I've got the music. I could put the music up if you like.
Yeah, if you can share.
I haven't played it very often, so so what do I need to go? Share screen.
Share screen, yeah. Just before you do, have you got original sound turned on?
Yeah, now I have.
That's all right. Okay, yeah, right. So share screen and then share. Yeah,
share.
Sharing something.
Yeah, can you see it?
It hasn't arrived yet, but it's on its way. Right, there you are. Yes, that's good.
It's there, is it?
Yep.
So hold on a minute, I need to mute everybody.
Oh, okay.
So it's Sally that's going to be playing it. Right, let me mute everybody. I'll unmute you, Sally, so you don't need to do anything.
All right.
Okay, so unmuted everybody and then unmute Sally. Right, so now have a twiddle. Yeah, you're okay. You have control.
Right. There we go.
Do it again. Do it again.
Do it again.
Do it again.
All right, I'll try. There you go.
Very nice. I mean, unmute everybody so they can applaud.
It's got an alarming number of sharps in it, hasn't it?
Yes. It's not too tricky of a duet, actually.
Basically,
I think it's one of those, though, isn't it? You see something in C, you go, okay, that'd be fine, and then you go along, oh no, where did they come from? There's some interesting timing on that as well, isn't there?
It's a ragtime, isn't it? It's a ragtime tune. So do you know what its origins are?
No, I don't know anything
where
about
did you get it from?
Yeah, I got it. I've signed myself up to a day for playing in a band to country dance music, and they sent a whole load of tunes through the other day, about 25 tunes, and this was one of them.
Wow.
So
I've never come across that before. It's quite different.
yeah, it's quite nice.
Right. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for volunteering. Oh, having your arm twisted. If you could stop sharing now.
Oh yes. Stop. Oh yes, there.
Yeah, I mean, it worked fine that time. But the other thing, if you're doing that sort of sharing in the future, it might be worth downloading that was a PDF file or whatever, wasn't it?
Well, it was just from the email. So.
Yeah. Well, it was an attachment to an email. Yeah. Download it so you've got just that PDF as a document, and then if you open that, you could then share just that without sharing the whole of your Outlook.
Oh, email. Right, yes.
I mean, it didn't matter. It all works, and it was big enough. It would just give you a bit more screen real estate for the music, and avoid any possibility of you displaying embarrassing emails to the
yes.
Right. So was that somebody twiddling, wondering whether to do another round the room, or should we move on to Batia de Palmas? Oh, let's move on to Batia de Palmas then. Right, okay, let me just clear that out. Accordion player, right, yes, John Whelan. So Kate was saying that the net says that John Whelan was a button accordion player, but not a concertina player, as far as I can see. That was the previous tune, Trip to Sky. Anyway, right, what do we want? We want.
Anne, there must be something wrong with your cat that it doesn't shoot out of the room as soon as the concertina's played. Like,
that was the previous cat.
Yeah.
This one likes it.
Yeah. Jeff Thorpe's cat always disappeared as soon as we got the concertinas out. And I assumed that all cats would do that. But, obviously, some cats have better taste.
I also had one that came to chase my fingers when I was playing.
Yeah, jealous.
That's the problem.
He's jealous.
Well, there's definitely no catgut in a concertina, so no reason to object.
You feel they might object to fiddle players because their cats were harmed in their making, do you? Right, so let's change that and that. And what have I got? We could do John's original Batia, but what I've done I think in my, tell me if these things don't work, my resettings, but I think they can be useful to fit the screen, and I think in all cases you should be able to play from the original. We'll get that in a minute. Oh no! Oh, yes, there we are. Right. Right. So the so this is John's Batia de Palmas, which, as he said, is come. This is an Argentinian thing that's come from Spain, and before that it's definitely got Yiddish roots, Jewish. Apparently it played at traditional Jewish weddings where it's danced by the two mothers-in-law, if against clapping against one another. So the net says. So we've got synthesized recordings of this at various speeds to give us something rigorous, but shall we have a try through it just with me playing, and then maybe we could get John to play it as a contrast. So I'm going to mute everybody for the moment. Right. So in terms of the structure, it's a bit complex. My typesetting software has slightly different things to John's. So the crucial thing, you will notice there is a strange sign at the beginning of the second line. That's a segno, the Italian for a sign. And then when you go all the way through first and second time, you get down to the part that's in G minor. At the end of that, you'll see it says DS, which means dal segno. So that means you go back to the sign. You go back to the sign, come from the sign. So at the end of that bit there, that bar, you go back, you miss out, in other words, you miss out the whole of the first line of music, which is really an introduction, and you loop back to that segno sign and do the main body of the tune again. When you get back to the same point for that second time through, you then in essence go to a coda, and that's a coda sign there at the beginning of the second time bar there. Strictly speaking, musicians I don't think would allow you to have first and second time bars that didn't have a repeat correspond to a repeat at the beginning, which that one doesn't. but the meaning is clear. The first time you get to here, you dal segno back to the segno sign. The second time you get there, you're in the coda and you go straight on to the end. John's thing had a dal segno al fine, but that's a bit odd because you don't. That's usually when you have a mark somewhere else in the document that says fine, meaning finish here. In this case, we're not finishing in the middle of the document, we're finishing at the end. So I don't know whether that's confused people further than it was written. So you play the first line, you play lines 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you go back to line 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then out with lines 7 and 8. Okay. Will be interesting to see whether I do that or not. So I'm just going to that sort of speed we want. Right, so I'm just count 1, 2, 3, 4 and come in from the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah! Oh, rubbish. I made a mess of myself and I now don't know where on earth I was. I'm in 2 flats and I've got to remember the E flat. I remembered the B flat, but I didn't remember the E flat. So I'm going back to the beginning of that line, and I think I got faster as well, which didn't help. So the beginning of that line, the second line with the flats. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, rubbish. Yeah, I think we're going to have to practice that slowly. Let's just practice that. Let's all practice that line, that second half of the minorish bit, and we'll slow it down further and just play those bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. Again. Again, a bit faster. So that's the that's a bit there where at that point it goes back to the segno. So we'll do that once more, a bit slower, and go back to the segno. Wrong. So it goes like that, doesn't it? So just that last bar. I'm still in flat mode. Last bar. Oh, rubbish. That doesn't repeat. I was going back to the repeat again. Right, the whole of that line and then onto the coda. It's horrible. Where he's gone back into G major from the coda. Well, I made a pig's ear of that, certainly.
It's a bit like rubbing your stomach and hitting your head at the same time, isn't it?
There's too many things to think about. Changes of key, slightly strange rhythms, and leaping about in the tune. Anyway, it's very nice. John has synthesized versions at speeds ranging from 160, which is what it says at the top, down through 140 and 120 down to 100. So let's actually try the 100, which is possibly even slightly slower than I was doing there. What have we got here at the moment? Batio de Palma. So I think this is the slow version I've got. I did show it, didn't I? Yes, I did. Right, okay, and you'll note that he's taking more notice than I was of the staccato markings. I knew I was doing something a bit wrong. There are lots of notes with dots over the top that should be staccato, more staccato than I was doing them. Right, so I'm just going to press start and you hear 2 bars of clapping before it comes in. Are we ready? Go. it has charm, certainly, doesn't it? I'm just going to, before I do unmute everybody, can I just point out that that was just the top line of 3, which for future things we can put them both up on the screen in double page mode, except that at the moment I've got my left and right pages are all wrong, so I can't put them up both at the same time. Anyway, let me unmute everybody and stop sharing.
Can I just say there, with the special effects, the music software I used had a clapping sound, so I put that in. The nearest I could find to stamping was gunshot. So I'm wondering what happened after the mother-in-law stopped slapping each other.
I was going to say, I thought that was a gunshot, and I thought, is that, you know, mother-in-law? You've obviously got one, John.
How about one of your boots, John, that you keep tapping your foot with?
You
Use one of them.
I'm on carpet at the moment, so you wouldn't hear it. But yes, it is quite audible.
So it's coming up to 4 o'clock. Should we get John to play that through to us once, how he thinks it should be, and then we stop and people can play along? Or are you willing, John?
Yes, I'm okay. We'll see how I fare.
Right, let me mute everybody. I'll unmute John.
Oh,
you've just
thanks. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, right. And we just want are you playing in essence just a single part version, or are you able?
Oh yeah, I just played the single part version.
Right, and then other people can play along if they wish.
Right, so I'll try and keep it at a similar speed. So
you can perhaps go slightly faster, I think.
Okay. So this sort of speed. That speed. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I hope anyone that wasn't playing along was clapping and stamping in time.
Indeed. Obviously so.
Well done.
Yes. Well done.
It is a very catchy tune.
It is.
Really fond of it.
I've spotted one minor problem with the slurring as copied from your thing. My software objected to a crotchets being where there's a set of crotchets that are beamed together. Let me just reshare the thing. It was a fairly minor thing, but it's sort of interesting. Take the very first bar, where you've got 6 quavers all beamed together as a slur. Somewhere by going via XML and back into my software, the slur only slurred the first 2. Because of the space, so to speak, between the first 2 quavers being barred together and the last 4 being barred together. It felt that there was obviously a mistake, that the slur went all the way across the lot. And I went and corrected them, but I've just noticed I missed out the end of the second line. The slur should presumably go across the whole 6 quavers in the same way. So
we haven't got the notes yet, right? So I'm not worried about the slurs.
I haven't got it slurred on mine, so I may just have omitted.
Oh, you omitted it. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
No, I think that's been copied faithfully, Paul.
Oh, right. Okay.
Whether it's right is another matter, but I think it makes very little difference.
Yeah, indeed. Right. Well, it's 4 o'clock. In fact, it's 4 minutes past, 5 minutes past. So I think we ought to finish.
Just a little bit of AOB. Sorry, shall I go ahead with that?
Go ahead.
Yeah. One is to remind people we got changes of dates, so that the next session is not 2 weeks' time, but 3 weeks' time. It's the 12th September, then the 26th, and then not until the 17th of October. The other thing is that I got some mild interest, at any rate, from people for going back to Malden and so physically playing in the church hall. I think the earliest we could reasonably do that is the 17th of October. So I know a number of people, for health reasons, would have good reasons not for going along. But Paul, could you just briefly say what sort of measures you take, because you ran the green shoot session?
Yeah, I mean, it's church halls have all, if they're open for business, have had to go through approval to make sure that the ventilation's reasonable and limits on the number of people they can put in, etc. So when I ran green shoots, we were allowed up to 22 people in the hall, and we had to have ventilation, windows open on one side and door open on the other, and hand sanitizer available, and people sitting spaced out. We even arranged to put the blown wind players, of which there weren't very many, a whistle and flute, over by the downwind windows, so that their pollution would go out the window. And we suggested that people wore masks for going in, but take them off when sitting down. So I think that nothing's totally safe, but given that I think we're all double vaccinated and we take spacing precautions and ventilation precautions, it's about as safe as you're going to be when playing a musical instrument with other people.
Probably safer than going into a supermarket, I would think.
Well, there's one other thing that everybody can do, and they can do a lateral flow test on themselves. The kits are free from a chemist, and it takes about half an hour to get your result. Not from the chemist, you just do it at home. It's quick, it's simple, and it's a way of knowing that you almost definitely haven't got COVID.
Yeah.
And if how many can you get at once? Is it limited?
Yeah. You just tell them how many boxes you want, and there's 6 kits in each box.
Oh, there's 7 in the one I got.
Yeah.
Oh, they should be 6.
You get half a dozen tests, so you know, I mean, you can have a couple as experiment, and
Yeah.
as long as
And you can order a box. You can order a box for free every week, I think, on the scheme.
yeah,
Yes, I've got some.
yeah,
I mean, clearly that's the thing, that nobody should come along if they know they're COVID positive, and that's one way of determining.
yeah. That's
Okay. The
Sorry,
thing-
John, can you just repeat the dates of the next meeting? Sorry.
Yeah, the 12th of September.
That's Zoom.
And then the 26th of September.
On Zoom.
And then the 17th of October.
Thank you.
In a gap of 3 weeks. The other thing is that Paul thought he might be able to conduct a Zoom session from the church hall if we went there.
It would. I mean, I think all I'm saying is, if I can get a reasonable mobile signal, I might be able to stream the event via Zoom. I don't think it would be possible to put up all the music. I think we're assuming if we're meeting in person that people have their own music printed out and have music stands with music on, rather than putting things on screen.
Can I just ask for a show of hands? How many people? I know a number of people live far away, and I say other have got good health reasons. How many would think they'd turn up at Malden on the 17th of October?
I'm probably a maybe. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I'm a maybe. Not sure.
Pete, there was about 4 or 5 people, I think. Did you count better than me? Yeah, we got.
Hands up again.
Yeah.
Hands up
and hold them
1,
up.
2, 3.
Oh.
That's 5, including me, whose hand you can't see. And oh, sorry, 6. Missed you, Tim. And that there were, I think, 2 or 3 people from the general email that I sent out that were very keen. What I'll do is I'll send out an email again and see just how many people we get. If we're going to get sort of 10 or so, 10 plus, then I think it's worth doing.
What about Philip? Because he hasn't been on here for a while, has he?
Oh yeah, Philip would be. He's away.
I think he was quite keen, wasn't he?
Yeah. So I think we'd probably get enough to make it worthwhile, at least on a trial basis.
John, the only thing that I was wondering is the room upstairs is nice and big, but the room that the Anglo players go in is quite small.
Yeah, I haven't heard from John Warren, so I don't know whether he'd be planning to run those sessions. But it's normally him and say 3 other people. So
yeah, I'll be upstairs anyway, but when I was down there were about 4 or 5 most weeks altogether.
Okay, well, I think enough for now, but I'll send out an email, and obviously we given we need to control numbers, I think it's unlikely we'd reach any safe maximum for the hall, but I'll ask people to confirm whether or not they intend to attend. We could try and Zoom it. I think you'll be trying that again with green shoots, Paul, so we'll know better.
Well, yes.
It works.
Yeah.
And
always dispatch the Anglo players to go and play in the church instead.
Yeah. But we'd only be going back to Malden once a month. So what we could do is hold Zoom only sessions, sort of a 2-week interval in between.
Yeah.
So that even if we can't sort of combine the two, run a Zoom session from Malden, then we keep in touch with all the people who've joined us during the lockdown period. Okay, anyway, as I say, I'll put out another email to firm up on the arrangements for that.
And the next WCCP Zoom, do you know the date for that one?
It's the 19th of September, which is why we've
changed it.
Why we've changed ours, yeah. And there's a workshop down there as well on the 5th.
Okay.
Okay. We say farewell.
Thank Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Thank
you. Bye.
Thanks again, Paul.
Bye.
We declare the session closed.
Cheers, then.
Appreciated.
Bye.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Yeah, cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Martin trying to find the off button. Okay.